We're back. Rick Stevenson along with Jason Grubb here sitting down again, and we have a guest. We told you we've been talking about bringing somebody on, and about time that we circled back up, and it's very timely as Kyle Oland is joining us today. He is the director and founder of the Fittest of the Coast competition. You've heard in the past, Jason and I, our experience being down there, and what good experience that was. But we thought we'd go right to the source. We thought we'd bring Kyle on, and it's, I think, perfect timing as such. The online qualifier begins, when we're recording this, we're recording on a Wednesday. It begins tomorrow on Thursday, October 2nd. So we're going to get into, Kyle, a little bit of your background, the evolution of the event, your plans, and of course, now is a great time to lay out all the qualifier events for us and give us a little sneak peek if you wanted to. But Kyle, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome.
Yeah, well, Rick, Jason, thank you for inviting me. It's obviously had the pleasure of meeting you both last year at the event, watching you guys compete, and it's fun to watch you guys compete. Whenever, obviously, Jason, you're a pretty notable athlete in the space. So whenever you see a name like that come in on the registration, you're like, oh, I'm going to have to watch this guy.
This episode is powered by Thirdsy, your go-to for game-changing sleep recovery. Imagine hitting your workouts harder and waking up feeling unstoppable. That's what Thirdsy's PM Recovery Collagen does for me. It's like pre-workout, but for your sleep, fueling your body's active recovery processes without any melatonin or sedatives. Just one scoop before bed supports deeper, more restorative sleep so you can crush your fitness goals. Ready to experience the best rest and recovery? Visit Thirdsy.com and transform your nights into recovery power hours. Thirdsy, because sleep is the ultimate recovery tool. That's THIRDZY.com. Save 20% with code JASONZZZ. Let's get into the show.
So yeah,
he gets
that. Bro. So speaking of that, we're gonna have a fun year this year. I plan on. I'm not doing any competitions between now and the end of the year, which means I'm gonna just front load the crap out of next year, and I'll be 50 and I'm ready to just start going for it. So I'm planning on doing team and individual, which we'll talk about. But I do want to mention this, Kyle. I've done a lot of qualifiers, done a lot of competitions, and I normally underestimate most qualifier workouts. So you released a workout last year. You have to remind me if it was the first one or not, but it had rowing into a few rounds of like wall balls and dumbbell snatches. Was that right?
Yep.
Yeah. It was a row-in buy-in. It was an AMRAP with a row-in buy-in followed by 3 rounds of wall balls and alternating dumbbell snatches. And then you repeated the buy-in. Yeah.
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah. 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason I bring that up is because I've never puked in a qualifier until that one. I don't know what happened. Like I was just going on pace with my partner, Josh Holden. Was my teammate when I was out there, and we're doing the qualifier, and we're just jamming through this thing. It was a sneaky workout, dude. It was one of those where like it's 3 rounds. What was it, like 8 wall balls and 6 dumbbell snatches or something? It was very manageable. I know you know the workout. It doesn't matter what the details are. It was just this super manageable load. Just kind of work your way through it. I finished the workout. We kind of pushed it on there, and we finished it. I went to reset my rower for some reason. I mean, the workout is over. I went to reset my rower, and I was like, oh my God, I am going to spill my breakfast right now. I can't believe it. I can't believe this workout did it to me. And so I started running towards the bathroom or moving briskly towards the bathroom. And honestly, I did not make it. But there was a trash can on the way that I had grabbed just in case. I went straight out the back door of the gym. And it was unbelievable. So I do respect the qualifiers. I enjoyed the qualifiers last year, and I very much enjoyed the competition as well. So I wanted to throw that anecdote in there just to welcome the audience to, this is not like patty cake. This is a legit, solid qualifier and event.
Yeah, actually, the first week, the one that's coming out tomorrow, I think it's one you're going to look at and you're going to be like, this doesn't look too bad, but we'll have the same feeling. Like our qualifier, if you were to look back over the last 3 years, and you're decently good at understanding programming and patterns, you'll see patterns in our qualifier programming.
Okay.
I'm not going to give it away too much, but typically week 1 is a monostructural based event. Very low barrier to entry in terms of movements, but that requires athletes to push the intensity and it's going to be a longer time domain workout as well. So you couple all those together and you can get that feeling pretty quickly.
Great. Well,
I'm excited already.
yeah, I was going to say, let's start back. And if you could tell us a little bit about maybe your background, where you're located. We're covering that, and then move into maybe the history of the event, because I think it's year 7. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So that means it would have started prior to COVID. So maybe how you navigated all that. Just a
Yeah.
little bit of background.
Yeah, so I'll start with my background. Like, I am not your typical CrossFit event organizer in the sense that I do not own a gym, nor have I ever owned a gym during my time. But kind of like my background, so I'm a former collegiate athlete, played college football. And then after I graduated, I wanted to go work in the NFL from a media relations standpoint, representing athletes to the media, and got really close with 2 NFL organizations, the Jets and Steelers. That ended up falling through. So I took a job for the University of Florida and moved down to Gainesville and worked with their athletic program for a year, with the idea that I would try to get into the NFL following that season. Well, as it turned out, my college girlfriend, who's now my wife, she moved to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So we were doing long distance dating. And then from there, I realized really quickly, hey, trying to get into the NFL, professional sports, is a grind, hard career path, long hours. And I realized pretty quickly, I was like, this is not going to be for me. So what I did is I moved to Myrtle Beach, got married in South Carolina. And then from there, my background was in marketing. From there in college, that was my degree, spent some time working for marketing agencies. And during this time, when I left Florida, kind of here's my intro to CrossFit. So in college, I was introduced to Rich Froning's book and read that book in college and started doing CrossFit workouts. Never went to a gym, but followed the open workouts there at college. Then when I moved to Florida, I was broke as a joke and I was trying to save money for a wedding ring. So again, I just kind of did my own CrossFit style workouts on my own, never went to a gym. But when I moved to Myrtle Beach and got married, my wife was like, hey, you really want to do CrossFit and go to a gym? I was like, yeah. She's like, you're too cheap. I'm going to buy you a membership as our wedding gift. So she buys me a gym membership. And this was in 2014 at the time. And just like everybody else, I got into it, drank the Kool-Aid,
Dive in.
and all in, loved it, got my L1, started coaching. I started a kids training program at our gym where I ran our kids program that was 3 nights a week, and did that for many years. And my full-time job during that time was in marketing. I worked for a marketing agency. Then during that time, falling in love with CrossFit, competing. I was that guy back in the day, you guys will remember this, where every guy who was 20, 25 years old thought they had a chance at regionals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
right.
so I was that guy, dude. I'm going to take it to regionals this year. Never really had a chance. Competed at a bunch of local regional events. And then the gym that I was a coach at, they owned probably a medium-sized regional event. It still goes on today. It's called the Beachtown Throwdown in Myrtle Beach. To get about 400 athletes that compete at it. Well, I started helping out with that in probably 2016, 17. And I approached them, say, hey guys, with my marketing background, I can help you guys grow this. Let me do that. So started helping them with marketing. We grew the event, was a head judge out there, did operations, set it up, did that for like 3 years. And then during that time, I was like, dude, there are so many things I would do differently as an athlete for this event that I was helping and investing a lot of time and energy into. But it wasn't my event. I wasn't the owner. So, it wasn't my place to like try to make all these decisions. So while all this was going on, I was at a crux in my career where I knew what I was doing. I was like, dude, I do not want to do this for the rest of my life. And I'm a person of faith. And for years, I would have this prayer, hey, God, give me something that I can make I prayed that prayer literally for years. And then in 2019, summer of 2019, I'm sitting at my kitchen table and my wife is in Mexico for her cousin's birthday or cousin's wedding. That's what it was. And then I was at home with our youngest, who was like a year. We weren't going to take him to Mexico. And I'm scrolling through Instagram and I had this thought, I want to create a CrossFit event and I'm going to make it really unique. I drew inspiration from an event that it no longer exists, but it was called Fittest of the Upstate. And it was a really unique model where they took the open and they created a leaderboard. And then they invited all the people from the upstate of South Carolina to compete in this event. And I said, dude, that would be really cool to do in my area. This was the time when the open was changing. It was like, for a person like me, the idea of going to regionals with regionals going away, that dream goes away overnight. So now I'm like, what's the point of the open? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to create a really cool event for people like me who really have no chance of going to regionals or going to the games. And my dream was to create an amazing experience so that way those athletes could feel something similar. So that's where Fittest of the Coast was born, at my kitchen table in 2019. And I found a programmer on Reddit and said, hey man, you program me a leaderboard from the open, run an API, run some code, and pull all the people. And I took all the zip codes and I found all the zip codes where they needed to pull from. And he created me a leaderboard for people that lived on the coast of South Carolina. You had to be east of Ive, which runs down South Carolina. And from there, I started DMing every gym. I went on CrossFit.com, found every gym, started DMing, reaching out to every gym. Said, hey guys, I created this concept. You don't know who I am. I've never owned an event. I don't own a gym, but I'm going to create an event. Would love for y'all to be part of it. So that's kind of how the idea came to be. And then that first year, it was only athletes on the coast of South Carolina.
Very regional.
Created an idea, figured out how they were going to compete in the event. They had to qualify. But here's the problem. I didn't own a gym, nor do I have any equipment. So then I had to figure that problem out. So I approached some friends that lived down in Charleston that owned a gym. And I said, hey guys, I would love for you to now look at your gym like an Airbnb. And I want you to Airbnb your gym to me for the weekend. You have this resource, this real estate, let me rent it from you. So now you can make some extra income. I'll handle everything. Let me do it. You don't got to do nothing. I just want to pay you to use your gym. So that's how that.
Interesting.
So my friends let me use their gym. Then we ran our first event. We had like 220 athletes, and it was, we ran our first event in, I think it was like April of 2020. So this is right when COVID. So now COVID hadn't really reached the South yet. My family lives up north in Maryland, and they're like saying, oh my gosh, we're shutting down. I'm like, what the heck? Like, this is going to go over. Nothing's going to happen. So we're running our event, and literally the next weekend, South Carolina shut down. Like, it was just an act of God that our event happened, because then COVID happened. But then fast forward, like, hey, I'm going to get to how we got to where we are today. So then fast forward, and that was the first event. It was very successful. And then the CrossFit canceled, or they moved the open. The open was in the fall, and then they moved it to the spring or winter again.
Yeah, that shoulder season that they had or whatever.
So at that point, I was like, my dream was in all of this. Like, I remember telling people when I was like, I'm going to run an event. I said, I'm going to create one of the biggest events in the country. I have this dream. I have this vision. I know how I'm going to do it. So I remember telling people that. And the goal was to create our own online qualifier. But the goal and my plan was in year 3, we would create our own online qualifier. So when CrossFit moved the open, what we did was I said, hey, I cannot attach my event to another organization and the success of my event be dependent on another organization. So that's when we created our own online qualifier in year 2. And it was very successful. It was again for the coast of South Carolina. I think we had just a share or hair over 1,000 people sign up just from the coast of South Carolina.
Wow. Okay.
And it was awesome. I was like, hey, I'm going to do this like the CrossFit Open of old. I'm going to get in my truck and I'm going to drive from gym to gym. We're going to do a live show on YouTube. Got a couple buddies. I was like, hey, you guys want to do this with me? my truck and we drove all around South Carolina. We went to 5 gyms every Thursday. We would hang out with gyms. We did a live show on YouTube, and that's kind of where we are today. People loved it and we loved it. Like it was me and my 4 buddies in a truck just having fun. And we were young. Like I think at the time I was 26 years old, maybe, and we just had a good time. So that's how the Coastal Qualifier online qualifier came to be. And then we had another good year. We rented from another gym, a new gym, and at that point, we were just busting at the seams.
Too big.
Yeah, the gym owners came up to me and said, "Hey, I don't think you can have this in a gym anymore. Like you're getting too big." And I had that thought as well. So at that time, the day after that second competition, we went and visited the Charleston Convention Center, and I signed a deal to have an event there. Didn't have the money for it. It was way too expensive, but I was young, and I was like, I will figure this out, like whatever. And that was our third year where we moved to the convention center. But
Okay.
again, at that time, we were only for the coast of South Carolina. So I was like, this is not going to work. We don't have a big enough pool of people to even make this work. So during this time, I'm thinking, hey, how do I expand this? I want to expand this event from my niche coast to a broader audience. But at the same time, the people, John Kim being one of them, as you Rick,
Sure.
we were this tight knit community of people like doing something really fun together. And I did not want to alienate those people that loved the event. So what we did is in the qualifier in year 3, we created 2 divisions, the coastal division for people on the coast, and then the mainland division, which was for anybody in the country west of I-95.
No
So
kidding.
we
Okay.
people from the coast and the mainland because I didn't want to alienate the people that helped build our event.
Did you take feedback from them, or was this just something that was kind of organic with you and your buddies, the planners that said, okay, they had the foresight to think, yeah, if we open this up, there's going to be grumbling, and then we kind of lose what we've already built.
Yeah, so I sent I had people fill out surveys where I started like, there was probably 30 people. I was like, hey, this is the vision for where we're going. How do you feel about this vision? And that kind of helped shape my thought process. And then like for me, the most important thing to me are the people in our event. And like this event is for people. It's not for my enjoyment. It's for people like y'all who compete in our event to have a great experience. So that's what matters most to me. So making sure we make decisions that mirror that thought. So yeah, that's what we did. We had 2
I
divisions.
like that idea.
Yeah, we had 2 divisions in the qualifier. Some people were upset about it. They were like, like you need to change your name. This is no longer Fittest of the Coast. But like I knew the vision. I said, hey, I know where we're going. Just stick with me. We're going to continue making a really awesome event. So the other thing, the first 2 years, we only ran an individual event. It was only individuals. And at that point, when I'm looking at numbers in this convention center and all this, I'm like, dude, this is not going to work. Like we're going to go out of business really quick if this model continues. So we create our team division. But at the same time, I didn't want to blow up everything that we'd done overnight and just change everything in one fell swoop. So we ran 2 events the third year. We ran a team event, which was at the convention center, and it was 2 days only. And then a month later in Myrtle Beach, in this wild location, we ran an individual event. So you could do teams and individuals, and a lot of people did both competitions.
Bingo.
So that's where the teams came to be. So then the goal was after this third year, I was going to combine everything and make it a better business model. We'll say that third year was not like if somebody is a business person, they say, well, you're doing something really stupid, but I had my eyes to the future. So then we combined everything in year 4. And now that's where Fittest of the Coast is today, where we got rid of the mainland division. Everything's all the same. We run individuals and teams. And then I wanted, because we had so much success in year 3 with people wanting to do individuals and teams, that's why we have the setup we have today, where you can compete individual and you can compete team. Because every decision like I make, I like to put my competitor hat on. And I'm like, hey, when I was really into competing, would I geek out over this? And I'm like, yeah, if I could do individuals and then go partner with a buddy on the back half of the weekend, I'll do
Hmm.
that today. So that's how we got to where we are today. And then during that time, we've just seen a lot of growth. 2 years ago was probably a big growth year for us. And then last year, we saw more growth. Last year, actually, the folks from Competition Corner said that in terms of just participation in your event from qualifier and championship, like Fittest of the Coast is actually the biggest event in the country outside of
Oh,
CrossFit Games, which to me, I was like, what? That's pretty crazy. Like I'm just a guy just trying to have fun with his buddies. So that's been pretty cool to see. And
I
that's
think. Oh, I was going to say, I think you have put out some numbers, or your team has. It's something like 1,700 sound right, or something like that, in terms of competitors, or
yes. So we'll have
I mean, it's crazy.
we'll have 1,700 athletes at the championship this year,
Okay,
and
that's maybe it.
in the qualifier they'll likely be over 5,000. And
Okay. Well, all right. For those that have not been, those that are listening to us and have not been down there, I didn't feel at any time in the weekend um, that it was too big. When you say 1,700 athletes, it was probably a little bit smaller than that last year, but that is a tremendous amount of people when you think of the logistics to roll through check-in and briefings and just planning stages of heats and things like that. But at no point did I feel overwhelmed, like, oh, what are these guys doing? I mean, it's too busy. I mean, the space is big. The space allows you to have options, I'm sure, with that. But you're somehow able to move that many athletes through, and maybe it's the individual first and then the team on the backside of the weekend that helps a little bit as well. But no complaints from a spacing
yeah,
standpoint.
I agree. It's wild to think there's that many athletes there on
Yeah, yeah,
2 or 3 competition floors, Kyle?
two.
2.
2.
Yeah,
So talk
one
about what
off-site.
that weekend looks like. So if someone was to come out this weekend, they qualify, they're like, yeah, we're going, like me and Rick might do, like, so what does that weekend look like?
Yeah, so we do check-ins starting Thursday night for our individuals. Our teams run Friday through Saturday early afternoon, and our individuals run Friday
Yep,
through early Saturday
yep.
afternoon. And as an individual athlete, you'll do 3 workouts on Friday. Over the last 2 this year, we'll do it again. The individuals will have 1 off-site workout, and then they'll have 2 workouts on Friday, and then they'll have 2 more workouts Saturday morning, depending
Hmm.
upon schedule, and then it'll finish up. And then our teams kick off Saturday afternoon, where you'll do 2 workouts on Saturday, and then on Sunday you'll do 2 more workouts on Sunday, and it'll finish by early afternoon. We try to get people out and finish by like 4 at the latest. Get people, if you're flying in, you can catch an evening flight or you can drive back at reasonable time. So that's the schedule. And then in the middle of that, we run an exhibition kids division on Saturday and that's just designed. I have kids and I used to run a kids program. My heart is like, I believe wholeheartedly that if kids fall in love with fitness at a young age, it will transform their life forever. So the goal in that is, hey, it's not competitive. It's, hey, we want kids to be excited about working out. And we want the kids to get the opportunity to compete on the competition floor where their parents are competing. So that's what that is. It's nothing
Hmm.
easy. It's for them. We run about an hour's worth of workouts for that.
Think about put all that on top of all the divisions as well. Yeah, that's good. Did you have a good take up with the kids last year?
Yeah, that event, the kid sells out with that usually within
Okay.
a few days. Like we always try to figure out ways to get more kids in. And that's something that means a lot to us because my kids get to be in it. My friends' kids get to be in it. So that's important to us.
Well, I know, I was going to say, I remember maybe it was a few years back now, Wadapalooza for the elite athletes did something where they could have, maybe it was teams the first day or first couple days and then individuals the last. Your 3 days, I think, is fine. You're not trying to crush or kill anybody. There's plenty of work in 3 days if you're going to do both. I thought there was plenty of work in just a day and a half,
Agree.
for just doing one of them. Also, I do have to say, for those again who are listening and weren't there, you figured out a way to move athletes from the convention center to the offsite in a good manner. And instead of saying, here's your map, here's your address, come up with your own transportation, which everybody can do. But when you're limited in parking in certain areas, I mean, we rode a bus and it took me back to memories of other places being bussed around to an offsite. And I was like, this works. Just make sure you catch your shuttle on the way back and you're good to good.
Yeah, that's a fun logistical hurdle, right? Like
Mhm.
you were at where we were at last year. The year prior, the place we were at, it was a park, and we did a trail run. So
Mhm.
parking was a little bit more prevalent, but this past year parking was not. So we needed to make sure we had shuttles. Because again, like I always try to put my hat on. Like if I'm competing in this, what makes this the easiest, best experience for me?
Mhm.
So hey, jump on a shuttle, and then it takes you right back to where you need to be, and then you
Yeah.
don't got to worry about it.
Couldn't be easier. And what are your thoughts here? It wasn't for age groups, but it was probably for the RX and the Pro, or was it just Pro that got in the water last year? And I know it was in a pool, but I thought it was great to see an event not connected to the CrossFit Games that was confident in their planning and or safety procedures to put athletes in the water. And again, when you're talking about this, that was like 7 or 8 months after what happened with the CrossFit Games, so it was on everybody's mind.
Yeah, we actually were going to have everybody swim. We were going to run a dual athlon, a swim into a run.
Hmm.
And I had it all planned out. And then what happened at the CrossFit Games happened. And I was like, you know what? Let's not this will be the first time we've ever used the pool. Let's back off this year and let's get our feet wet, for lack of the better
Hmm.
term. We'll just
Sure.
do one division. And then with a dual athlon, I was concerned as well. It wouldn't have been an issue, but sometimes in February in Charleston, it can get a little cold. So I was fearful that, hey, Jason's in the water, he's swimming, he jumps out. Now I'm sending him on a 2-mile run wet while it's 30 degrees.
Yeah, that's
Probably
fair.
not the safest thing. I think it would be fun, like from a mental challenge, but probably not the best in terms of what was going on in the space at the time. So that was how we worked through that and the thought process.
Come down to Charleston in what, August? Maybe try it that. Then you won't want to get out of the water, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll do that. So, because this is so timely, talk to us about the qualifier
Yeah.
starting tomorrow.
Yeah. So our qualifier, it's 4 weeks. At one point it was 5 weeks, but we backed it down to 4.
Hmm.
And really, it comes back to you heard the story earlier, right? This was all born off the CrossFit Open and how regionals changed and trying to create another unique experience. So our qualifier is 4 weeks. We've had people say, hey, why don't you just make it like a week, drop all the workouts, or 2 weeks like other qualifiers? But to me, you have to understand our heart. And like when we first started, like our heart was and still is like, hey, how do we provide excitement for gyms in the fall? Being a member of a CrossFit gym for so long, I've seen it is a hard, hard business to run. There's ebbs and flows and excitement. Or our thought when we started this was, hey, let's create something for a month that's going to generate excitement for a gym, generate momentum for members to want to be there, want to be part of the CrossFit community. So that's why it's 4 weeks. In addition, from just like a, hey, athlete perspective, in my opinion, whether it's right or wrong, we give athletes a full week to do the workout. So that way, my
Yes.
hope is your training is not going to be interrupted too much
Hmm.
in that, hey, you can get your regular training in for the week, do your workout once, do it twice if you're someone that likes to do it twice, and then get on with your week. So it's 4 weeks. We've released a workout every Thursday night at 7 p.m. And then you have until Wednesday night at 9 p.m. We actually extended that day one day this year. I felt, hey, let's give people another day in their week. It doesn't matter
Nice.
much for us for what we do. So, hey, let's just give people another day to work it into their schedule. So you have Thursday till Wednesday to complete the workout, 4 weeks. We do 5 scores. Typically, there's going to be a week where you're going to have a 2-score workout. I like having 5 scores. I just think it gives a qualifier more and an athlete more
Evens out.
opportunity to move up or down the leaderboard. So 4 scores is just tough. So 5 scores, I like that.
And I just think I saw an email today. I'm always been a We Time guy, but I think you're partnering with, is it
Wattproof.
Wadproof? Wadproof, and making it more seamless now, helping the qualifiers out. Tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, so we had a partnership last year with Wattproof, and I thought it worked really well. So we
You can
continued.
tell I didn't use it.
It's okay.
Come on, Rick.
It's
Come
your
on.
choice. We just say, hey,
I know it's
on
easy.
suggestion. So Wadproof is integrated within Competition Corner, where it'll upload automatically. I work with those guys. Those guys know the workouts. They're from Israel, so if you want to go over to Israel and try to get the workout, they program the timers, so it's already preset for you. They're good people. I really like working with good people. They've been really good to us. So that's that partnership. Again, you don't need to use Wadproof, but it does, in my opinion, makes it a little easier.
If it makes it easier, and Jason knows I'm not Mr. Tech, so I probably should just try it this year, right? Go ahead and do that.
Yeah, give it a shot. Let me know and tell me if it's better than We Time.
You got it. Now, I saw that today. What do you, okay, you have your plate full. October's a busy month. By the time it wraps up, I think, what do we have here? The end of the final scores are due the 29th. Okay, so the month of October is really qualifier month. Invitations and such all sent out after leaderboards are finalized. How, I tell us about the planning of the event process. You're going back to the convention center, but how far out has that begun? And what's that look like for your team?
Yeah, so I work really far ahead. Like we have venues in place through 2029.
Okay.
We're actually exploring some different locations, but we have at least one venue under contract through 2029. So I'm usually well ahead of the game. So, and I don't know, probably not many people know this, but this is not my full-time job. I have another job. I call it my real job,
Yeah.
which keeps me pretty busy. So I have to work really smart and efficiently. So it's a lot of early mornings and late evenings. But from how it kind of works is the qualifier during the month of October, it's all focus on the qualifier. We already have things already in motion for February. We'll start ordering items with vendors and stuff. That usually takes a few months. Like we have a shipment of Dalmer matting. The matting that goes under the rig coming in right now. So there's things like, hey, what do we need to get done that's going to take time? And we'll start ordering items and et cetera. We'll open up volunteer registration always the second week. We already have hotel blocks lined up. We have 2 options this year for our offsite workout. So we're just trying to work through which one we like and makes sense from what we want to do from a programming standpoint. And then from a programming standpoint for the championship, I'll be honest, I have ideas in my mind of what we'd like to do, but we really don't dig too deeply into that until early November. And then
Okay.
what we typically do is we'll have a testing day at a gym where we'll test everything for the competition over the course of a day. And then from there, what we do is we'll tweak the workouts as we see fit. But during this time, we're also working with our equipment provider, Valor Fitness, who provides our equipment. We've already kind of sent them over a rough sketch of what we'd like from an equipment about a month ago. And then from there, that's when we start building, hey, what else would we like? What kind of do we want to do from a programming standpoint? And then really one of the biggest things that I don't think people realize from an event standpoint is, especially for an event our size, we have over 150 volunteers at our event. That is massive. And that is a massive amount of time spent on that and making sure we have our teams in place. And one thing that I did last year, like we were joking, Jason, right? You're the plumber, the cleaner, the CFO, everything, the marketing guy, that's me. But I have some really amazing people that have come on board over the last couple of years that I've been able to figure out how to shift roles and responsibilities to
Smart.
give them ownership, which has helped me a whole lot, specifically at the event. The event is where we've created teams where there's team leaders where they have ownership of their teams. And that's freed up me a whole lot during the event to not run around like a chicken with my head cut off. Like we have great people. I have a great family. My family is massive. My wife, my brother-in-laws, my mom is in charge of all the vendors that
Yeah,
weekend.
that's awesome.
That's what she does. She makes sure they have a good experience. So I don't know if that answers your question. It's a lot. It's kind of
No,
like
no, absolutely,
a system
absolutely.
now.
So as we,
Logistically, oh, go ahead, Jason. Yeah,
I was going to
just
say, it made me think about like, so what all, because again, you're thinking about all the divisions, all the equipment, what different divisions do you offer? I mean, obviously the qualifier will lead to this, but sort of the in-person competition. Obviously, I know that there's individuals and masters, there's pro, is there RX, there's scaled, what's the barrier to entry for some athletes and talk that from that level all the way up to pro?
So we have 46 divisions, which
that's crazy.
Jason, and you'll understand this from a programming standpoint, is an absolute, oh my goodness gracious.
There's a
Like
lot.
it is. And it's trying to be fair and equitable to everyone. That's the big thing and the hardest thing. But yeah, we have 46 divisions from an individual standpoint, starting as low as novice.
Nice.
We changed the name of scale to I just don't like that terminology. I like novice. Then we have intermediate, RX, and pro. Then we have
Cool.
masters age divisions at your age gaps, 35 to this year. We added 65 plus. Uh, Dave Hardy's been pushing me to do that for a while. I don't know if you know Dave.
Friend of the
We
show.
do.
We love Dave.
Yeah.
I love
Absolutely love Dave.
Dave's one of those guys. He's been there since the beginning. He is one of the most incredible humans I've ever met. And he sends me an email every year without fail on everything I did wrong and how it can be better. And I look forward to it.
Yeah, feedback. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's constructive too. That's the important coming from where
Yes.
he comes from. Absolutely.
It absolutely, and I say that in jest. Like I know Dave well enough where I joke with him about that all the time. But he's now part of he's one of our head judges. He's been helping us now for a few years. I don't even remember your question, Rick or Jason.
No,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
you were talking about
all the
divisions.
divisions
Yeah.
from novice all the way.
Yeah,
Who,
so
who
yeah,
all
we
can
have
participate in this
Dave
thing?
Hardy had a role in probably getting that age group rolling.
Yes. So 65 plus for our individuals. Then we have teenage divisions, 13 to 15, 16 to 18. And then from our team division, we have same thing, novice, RX, intermediate, pro,
Right.
co-ed, male, female. Then we have masters, 35 plus, male, female, co-ed, 45 plus, same thing. And then 55 plus. What people want now is a 55 co-ed. We didn't add it this year, but we'll probably add it next year. So
Okay.
yeah, 46 divisions. So there's legitimately something for everyone. Like you will have newbie CrossFitters. So obviously you have folks like yourself, Jason. Then on the pro side, we have a ton of games individual or games teams athletes that'll compete.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. That's the goal is, hey, we want to create something for everyone.
Do you
That's a lot.
I was going to say that's a task. And then trying to figure out heat schedules. I don't even know how you guys all do that. That's probably behind the scenes.
It's a system. Basically, we have a system now, and that system, like I know in the summer what our heat schedules will be based upon the amount of people we'll bring. So we have a system, and then it's blocked.
Okay.
And then so with events, like I love talking about events because every event is different and every event should be different. And our event is different than others. Our event might not be for everyone. Like there are events out there. I think a great one in the space, it's in our state, is Crash Crucible. They are known as having amazing programming that's going to test you to your limits. We don't have that ability. We don't have enough time in the day to do like a 30-minute long workout. So our goal is, hey, how do we create the best experience with the windows of time that we have that are going to give people a great workout, a great test. Our goal is to try to have different movements. So yeah, every event's different, and that's who we are.
Yeah, I was going to say it's nice that you kind of know where everybody fits in the whole ecosystem, and you're not asking for 100% participation from every single athlete out there. You're putting a product out there and saying this is what we offer, and I think the uptake is proof that it has traction. And it's continuing to grow. Letting the cat out of the bag, I guess. What are your plans for the future? Continued growth, change of venues. You want to stay true to your coastal grassroots. So I imagine that's a driver. What do you think about at night? Say, hey, let's do this.
Yeah. So our goal at the forefront is, how do we create memorable experience? That is our mission. We make decisions based upon that ethos. What is going to create a memorable experience for someone? So for the future, like I said, we have a venue blocked in through 2029, which gives us stability. That's the biggest thing for events is, do you have a location and a venue? We are looking at other locations. As we've grown, the population that competes in our event has changed. For a long period of time, it was the coast of South Carolina that competed in our event mostly. But that's changing. So we might need to think about moving to a different location that might be best for our consumer base. But I don't know. We're looking at that. As far as where we go and how we change, we've probably reached the max out. Actually, I know we have. We will not expand the event anymore at
Mhm.
the actual championship this year. We've added some spots, and to me, that's like, hey, top end. We can't do
Okay.
anymore. It'll jeopardize the experience for people. I've been to events that in my opinion, had too many people and it was not a good experience. So I think we're towing that line pretty finely. So at the end of the day, how do we just continue making a better experience? How do we make the event better year after year? So like this year, you guys will see some differences. If it works out, these are not set yet, but we're working on them. Some things are set, like we're adding more bleachers. It's going to look like a
Oh, yeah.
legit arena in there. And we're looking at bringing a jumbotron in. So think of like what you would see at a basketball arena, like those 6-sided ones that would hang down over the competition floor. So that's our focus. How do we make the event better for athletes, spectators every year? This year, my focus is, hey, the spectator experience. I think we've done a really good job with the athlete experience. And now I'm focusing on the spectator. So what we've done this year is we've added more venue space at the venue, and we're building a health and wellness area that'll be connected to the whole area. And in that, there'll be a spectator workout floor. We have a recovery partner that's coming in to provide recovery products. Think compression sleeves, cupping, thermal massage guns, for athletes that'll be big. They'll be able to handle the amount of athletes we have. So that's going to check that athlete experience off. But then also for people that are coming in for 3 days, we want to get a workout in. We're going to have a spectator workout area where you're going to be able to work out and have that great experience. So that's our focus. I don't get caught up in too much of like, hey, what's our role in the CrossFit space? Like
Okay.
my focus is, how do we create the best experience for our community? And if we do that, we're going to do a good job. So that's what keeps me up at night. I view Fittest to the Coast as it's my dinner party that I'm inviting people to my house. And I
That's
want my guests to have the best experience possible and leave the party happy. If they leave happy and full of memories, we did our job. So that's our focus.
that is excellent. Had another question, but I hate that it's so well said there at the end. Just last little one here, and without naming names, because you seem so experience driven or there's data behind it and feedback. Do you go to some other events? And again, not naming names, but do you go to other events to see, the pluses and minuses and pick up little things that, hey, I think we can do this, or I see what they're doing and there is why I'm never bothering with this, or something like that. I mean, does that kind of homework ever come into play
Yeah.
as you're tweaking?
It does, absolutely. When I first was grinding at growing Fittest to the Coast, I helped out at so many events
Mhm.
while I was running this, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to learn and I wanted to observe how other people do things and be able to take something that I saw and maybe make it my own. So I do that all the time. I'm always observing what else is happening in the space and trying to take that. And that is something that I think it's really important, especially if you're not getting out to some of the events out there and just seeing how things are done. I remember I went to when they did I can't remember the name of it now. The CrossFit game season has changed so much, but when they had the event in Orlando at the Orlando Convention Center, I think
Sure. It was not a regional, but it was a semifinal or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And went to that one, and that's where looked, curved, and took a lot of notes from. So yeah, it's really important. Really, really important.
Doing your homework. Well, we appreciate your time. Excited to get this started tomorrow. It's fittestofthecoast.com, right? I mean, it's out there on Instagram. It's very easy to find. If you listen to Jason and myself, at least for one piece of advice, we'd say go sign up.
Yeah.
Not that they're going to listen for anything else, but
It's a good one.
Yeah.
it is.
Well,
it really is.
And that's our goals, right? We want people to have a good time. And yeah, registration will close Wednesday, October 8th, when the first workout is due.
After week 1. Okay. At the end of week 1.
Yep. And then, 4 weeks. It's going to be fun. The first week's workout is, it's fun. I've only done it once, but I'm excited to do it again. So it's one you could do a few times.
Jason, get your garbage can ready.
Doing it once.
Hey, it's
done on this one.
It's if you want it. It's one of those workouts where you can hurt as much as you want to hurt.
Got to ease into it. I'm
Those
old.
are some of my favorites.
Well, Kyle, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you spending some time giving us a history. I know I've learned a lot. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Kyle.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, it's awesome to see what you guys are doing from Boulder Athlete. It's fun to see other people in the space doing well. I think that's great for everybody. So keep crushing it.
Kudos. You got it.
Thanks for tuning in to the Masters in Motion podcast. We'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or your preferred podcast app. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us reach more listeners and grow our Masters community. Until next time, get bolder, not older.